Welcome again, once again to Boxing Hideout TV. I am your host, Juice 8888. We're going to get into this topic today. Today we're going to discuss Boots Ennis and his dominance over the division. He hasn't even had to beat anyone to dominate the division. They just don't want to take a chance on this guy. They'll come up with any excuse. And today we're going to highlight uh, Keith Thurman and his ducking. So let's get it started today. Once again, this is Boxing Hideout TV. Subscribe to the channel, like the videos, and all that good stuff. You know the deal. Today we're going to discuss Keith Thurman. We'll try not to keep this long unless someone wants to jump into the discussion. But for right now, we're having an issue with this guy, man. He fights once every few years, and I don't know what's going on with this guy, man. But we're going to talk about this guy, Boots Ennis. Right now, come here. We have Jerron Ennis in the house. He's not hasn't had to beat anyone. I think his toughest fight, in my opinion, was Lipinets. His last fight was a joke. Um, he's rubbing these dudes out, and there's nothing they can do about it. He's beating up all the cab drivers and all the C-level competition to make sure that there's nobody left. Now, the odd man out in this situation is Virgil Ortiz. Virgil Ortiz is a bad dude, but his career is being mismanaged, and so for him, they're setting it up for some future Virgil Ortiz versus Jerron Ennis round robin. The only issue here is that um, Virgil Ortiz is not on anyone's radar. As good as he is, he's just not. That's not what they're looking for right now. So, with that being said, we're gonna focus on Keith Thurman. Okay. I was a big fan of Keith Thurman, and I hate to have to make videos like this because I'm not really one to say who's running from who and all that stuff like that. That's not important. What's important is the why. I've maintained all along. I've maintained all along that after the Josepito Lopez fight, where Keith got rocked, I don't see it. Some will say he cut his hair. It was almost like some Samson stuff. You know what I mean? Some biblical. Like, man, dude, you cut your hair, man. You lost your killer instinct. You look corporate now, and it may not matter, but psychologically, I think it does. Not to him, to the opponents. They see this guy right here, man. They say, "Oh, okay, he's got him a little money now. Won him a couple fights. Now he's the man." And you got to give it to him. Keith Thurman was a great fighter, but I don't put much stock into his last win. I'm sorry, man. If it's a tune-up, it's good. But if it's a tune-up, it's got to be leading into something else bigger than that. It can't be. Um, I fought a guy that Tank just knocked out, and now I'm going to sit on the shelf for another year and wait for the winner of Errol Spence and Bud. And really, truthfully, he's hoping that fight doesn't take place. He wants it to go away. He wants the focus to be on him, which is fine. But he doesn't want Bud and Errol Spence to fight. He wants to get that fight, so he's hoping something goes wrong. But Errol Spence isn't going to fight Keith Thurman if this fight doesn't happen. Errol Spence isn't going to fight Boots either, but it's not going to be Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman's best bet is to fight uh, Terrence Crawford if this fight with Errol Spence can't get made. Okay, which is fine. It's a good fight. Anyone who Keith fights is a good fight. The issue is getting him to get in the ring. Um, I'm telling you, uh, the Manny Pacquiao loss wasn't a fluke. Um, Manny was willing to fight anyone that he felt he could make a good bit of money from and enhance his legacy at that time. Normally, everyone and their mom calls out the Manny Pacquiao's. Everyone wants to take that fight, which is fine. Nothing wrong with that. It's a good money fight. But he doesn't take every offer, but for some reason he took Keith Thurman's offer. What did he see in Keith that we didn't see? Even though technically we saw the Hosepido fight previous, he nearly took Keith's head off. And it happens. It's a contact sport. It's nothing you can do about it. No shame in that. Keith still won the fight, and he deserved to win. He didn't actually. He did. He just he won the fight. The best man wins all the time. Not all the time, but enough. The point I'm trying to make is this, man. Corporate Keith is not intimidating anyone. Uh, it's just not. He's not intimidating anyone. His look, his demeanor is not the same. He can snarl and stuff like that, and laugh and make jokes and stuff like that. And I wouldn't pick just anyone to beat him. I wouldn't just pick anyone to beat him, but uh, he's not going to be the obvious clear cut winner in most fights of high magnitude, not at this stage in his career, and not with this lack of focus. I just don't see it. I don't see how someone's going to go from taking years, fighting once every 3 years, and then the uh, last fight. Listen, man, the Aztec Warrior is a good fighter. Um, La Azteca. Uh, if La Azteca is going to be a gatekeeper, okay, he moved up to 147 because the money that he made from the Tank Davis fight was enough to feed their bellies a little longer, and he had interviews to do, asking questions about how good was Tank and why did you think you could win. Those type of questions are going to come up a lot, which is good. My only thing is, uh, La Azteca is not a world beater. So if this fight was a tune-up, which I thought it was, then it needs to be tuned up for another fight. Okay. If Keith Thurman's holding out for Errol Spence and Bud not to go through, that's fine. But they're gonna have to defend their titles against somebody, man. You know what I mean? So it may as well be themselves. That's where the money. And if they want to stretch it out on some Mayweather Pacquiao shit, then that's fine too. Either way, it's a good fight. Okay, but Errol Spence, if he wins this fight, is going to go up to 154. And as of today, the rematch clause is an issue. Terrence Crawford is asking for a rematch clause for some reason. Maybe he doesn't. Then oh, the amateurs. Mm, but that's okay. Anyway.